I saw Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, The Crimes of Grindelwald, and it was good, bad, interesting. So let's get straight into it with the characters. This movie has such a large cast and tries to create emotional impact with characters I don't really care about. I wanted to care about them, but I just couldn't. Queenie, for instance, she's a fairly average character who just seems to be, well, not exactly logical, put it that way. I'll talk about all spoilers at the end before I continue, by the way. Moving on, Jacob, I love his character. I love the idea of a muggle being there experiencing these things for the first time. And he was great, but despite the reasoning for how he can still remember the events of the last movie making sense, it did still feel like a cheap way of bringing him back. Now, you will come to realise that in my opinion, this movie is a massive, it was good, but, the key word there being the but. Newt was great, Dumbledore was great, and surprisingly I think Johnny Depp did a great job portraying Grindelwald. The opening scene with Grindelwald's escape was actually done very well, showing off his immense power and why he was the most feared dark wizard before Voldemort. The general story as a whole, I have seen many people claim it was difficult to follow or was a mess. I thought it was actually quite simple to follow. You had a few different groups finding answers and inevitably will end up facing each other. Something I didn't like was actually the character of Tina. I think she got in the way quite a bit and I just wasn't interested with her or her story. They were setting up Newt and Lita more than Tina. I really liked the use of flashbacks, giving some backstory that helped with that. If I was to change one thing, it would probably be the Newt and Tina relationship. I would change it entirely. Jude Law was great as Dumbledore, and we didn't actually get as much Grindelwald and Dumbledore as I initially thought we would. Back to the story though, many are claiming it was a lifeless display of spells, of which I see what they mean. There were many spells, monsters and displays of the Wizarding World, of which had no real relevance to the story, just piled in to keep that Fantastic Beasts title. But, there it is again, it was pretty cool to see more of that world, that colour and that imagination. I think the trouble that lies in this sequel is that they have tried to combine what made the Harry Potter films great whilst keeping the expanded world that was made in the first Fantastic Beasts movie. To make this film better, they should have had the Beasts movie as a separate film, an imagining of the book in Hogwarts, and then created a new series, a trilogy, whatever, to show the story of Grindelwald and Dumbledore. Keeping Newt, whatever, I think he's great, just cut that desperation to pile so much into this. Right now, onto the spoilers, okay? So Dumbledore stated in the trailers he could not move against Grindelwald. We find out why, and it has something to do with a pendant and charm cast using both of their blood when they were young. We don't know exactly what stops them or what the repercussions would be. Possibly the result could be similar to the Unbreakable Vow. We don't know. Second, Queenie joins Grindelwald. Now this I predicted easily. I think the Super Carlin brothers called it also. Not a big surprise, and in the film we do see Grindelwald's power over words and how he differs from Voldemort in that he does not kill straight away if someone disagrees with him. So yeah, we see Queenie join him, and I think there was something in the tea she was drinking, possibly something to make her more willing or something like that. And the one everyone is talking about, Credence actually being Dumbledore's brother. Now this is confusing. I said that the general story was easy to follow. I will admit the difficult thing to keep track of was who's related to who and whatever else. Now, I believe Credence is a Dumbledore. I do not believe he is Albus's brother. I have two theories. Either he is the son of Ariana, or he is Ariana. Now hear me out. I don't believe he is exactly Ariana, if that makes any sense. Ariana was locked away and hidden by her family after she was attacked by some muggle boys, and she lashed out, not able to control her magic when she was very young. This seems to have similarities with how Credence was in the first film. I think Ariana was, in fact, an Obscurial, like Credence. Now, as the Obscurial died when Ariana died, I think the Obscurus within her survived. Now, this is quite difficult to follow. What I have come to believe is that the Obscurial is actually the person that has the Obscurus within them. The Obscurus is the actual magical entity that is, well, the Obscurus. The actual magical entity moved into another host when Ariana died. possibly still partially connected to her, hence giving credence his immense power. Anyway, so upon first time watching this, I would give it a 6 to 6.5 out of 10. That may sound quite low to you, but I did really enjoy this movie. I think that despite its flaws, it was still better than the first. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.